Hello and welcome along to Mondo Chalavet Movies. My name is John, and this morning I went into the town with the Debs to get our eyes tested actually. And I've got to say that the girl who tested them, she was called Priya. She was one of the most professional people I've ever met in a shop. So funny enough, it's been 4 years since my last eye test, and I thought I'd be needing a serious upgrade in my glasses. But she said to me, she said, actually your eye health is really good. And she said that I'm really surprised at how your eyes haven't deteriorated in the past 4 years. So I said to her, I said, well, Priya, I said, thanks very much for that. She said, I'm over here. So before I showed me pickups the other day when John Hall came across, his second part of his video is going to be coming out tomorrow. He also gave me some stuff here, which he didn't show off in his video. He just showed off the stuff that I'd sort of bought. He'd helped me to buy, and also a few freebies in there. These are the things he'd said to us. He says you can have them, and they do help me out in a big way, and I'll show you why when I show you what these are. So I just want to say thank you once again for John Hall for giving me these things and for coming on my videos. Expect to see a lot more of him. I think he's a valuable addition to this channel, and have a great time talking to him as I have done for 20-30 years. So these are the other things that John Hall brought across to me which you haven't seen on them other two videos. First up is ants. It's got a great tagline, the picnic is ruined. This is on Fremantle Media actually. This is a DVD, so I'm just going to go through these quite quickly. And these are ones that I thought, yep, I'll definitely be watching this. There's a lot of these films on here that I really want to watch, and I'll tell you why. So that's first up is Ants. Second up is That Man Bolt. Now this stars Fred Williamson, who is a blaxploitational icon, and I love watching his movies. And this one is never heard of it, but with Fred Williamson in it, I'll be definitely checking that out. So that's That Man Bolt. Next up is The Wraith. Now I've been looking at this on to buy on Blu-ray a lot of times on Vestron in the UK, but I haven't done it yet. And the best thing about this is I can watch this. Got a lovely slipcover, mate. The best thing about this, I can watch it and I can see what I think of it, because one of these movies, I remember watching it back in the day and thinking it was okay. I remember the actual DVD box was really nice. It was like neon. I'm sure it glowed in the dark or something. It was really stood out on the shelves. I can't remember anything about it, if I'm honest. I remember it's about a motorbike and stuff like that. So I'm going to check this out, and then this will make me think, do I really need to see it? It might be one of those ones where I watch and think it's not as good as I thought it was going to be. So that's a great it might save me some money in the future. So that's The Wraith. Next up is The Hand. Now John had said that this one didn't play completely on his player, so he said just have a try of it and see if it works or not. So this is a Michael Caine film directed by Oliver Stone, believe it or not, which I didn't even know about. I'm sure I've seen this movie back in the day, and like I say, I will be watching this, and it might play all the way through. If it doesn't, that's just c'est la vie. So that's The Hand. Next up is The Final Countdown. Now this is the DVD of the Blue Underground release. I've got the 4K of it, but it's got, I don't know if you can see it on there. Is it showing up? Yes, there you go. It's a really good lenticular case. I wasn't expecting to see the lenticular case when he showed us it. I thought, oh, and then this appears, and I thought, I've got to keep that for this. I love this film, and I love this presentation. So, I mean, it's got a nice Blue Underground catalogue, which I'm going to look through. So this here is just a really nice edition. Obviously, the 4K is absolutely brilliant, but I just love that cover. So there you go. So that's The Final Countdown. Next up is also a Blue Underground 4K. It is Vigilante. Now this is, funny enough, this is released on Anchor Bay, because I'd said to John, I says, oh, is this Blue Underground? He says, not, it's Anchor Bay. Now this made me think back in the day that Anchor Bay were a part of Blue Underground, but they're not. But yeah, so that's Vigilante. I know I've got the 4K of it, but I'm going to check out the extras on here, just see if there's any other ones. I don't think there will be, but this is a nice sort of blast from the past. So that's Vigilante. Next up is a movie that I've been wanting to check out for a long time, just never got around to it. Thinking, I didn't think I liked it completely when I bought it. I looked at it the first time around, and it is The Dead Zone. Now I like Christopher Walken. I think he's absolutely brilliant, and this is a Stephen King book. And I don't think I've read the book actually, but I've read a lot of Stephen King books. And it was funny, it was one of them ones where I thought if I'll ever bump into it again, I'll check it out. But John saved me the bother of doing that, because I can watch it on here and find out if I do like it. So if I do like it, I'll be upgrading to Blu-ray. But this is another one where, a bit like The Wraith, where I can put it on and think, right, I'll give it a shot and see what I think of it. It's what try before you buy. So that's a dead zone. Next up is Shock. More about this later. This is the Anchor Bay Blu-ray. Beyond the Door 2. That's the alternative title. That's a lovely little touch there. This sort of big postcard. I'll be interested to see if any of these have exclusive extras on as well. So that's Shock, Mario Bava film. So the next ones here are all martial arts movies. First up is The Battle Creek Brawl by Jackie Chan. John did say, he said this didn't play all the way through for him, so I'll be watching. I haven't got this actually. Although I want the pictures to see it, believe it or not. And I'll check it out definitely. And it's another one that I'll upgrade it on the Blu-ray if I'm sure there's a Blu-ray out of this one. If I like, I remember kind of liking it, but it's that long since I've seen it at the cinema. God knows when it came out, 1980 or something like that. So that's Battle Creek Brawl. Next up is Disciples of Shaolin. This is Shaw Brothers Kung Fu Collection. And this is from Image Entertainment. Now these are all ones that are probably out on Blu-ray. Now the best thing about these is I can watch them on here and decide whether or not I want to upgrade them on Blu-ray or not. Because sometimes you may think they're all right, and sometimes you may think, well, they're not really ones I would watch again. So these are great for me to check these out, and then I can move them up to Blu-ray if I want. So that's Disciples of Shaolin. Next up is Executioners from Shaolin. This is Dragon Dynasty. I've never heard of them actually, but these are all Shaw Brother movies, I believe. I know that John says all these are really excellent, and I think that Deborah would like to watch a few of these as well. I've got no problems with them being on DVD at all, because some of these DVDs do look quite good actually. So that's Executioners from Shaolin. Next up is Legendary Weapons of China. Now I do think these are ones that are probably going to show up in the Arrow Shaw Brothers box set, Shaw Scope. So that's another thing that it's on my radar to buy, and I think I'll get it. It might come down in price, it might go out of print, I'm not too sure. But these ones are all that I can try and think is a box worth getting. So that might save me a bit of money. So that's Legendary Weapons of China. Next up, the lovely slip. Sometimes you forget that DVDs even had slipcovers. Is The Flag of Iron. Another Shaw Brothers movie. I love these type of movies, I've got to admit. I think these are all from the 70s. So that's The Flag of Iron. Another great slip is Shaolin Mantis. Like I say, I'm going to check these out to see where they're actually available. Like, if I like them, they will definitely be getting a Blu-ray upgrade. Next is The Return of the 5 Deadly Venoms. Try saying that after 10 pints. And also it's The Return of the 5 Deadly Venoms and aka Crippled Avengers. Wow, what a title. So I'm sure I've got something like 5 Deadly Venoms somewhere else actually on the E88 stuff here. I'm sure it's on there. But again, another one that I will be watching. And finally, on the ones that John Ho brought over to us is Challenge of the Masters, with another lovely slip as well. Enhanced edition, it says. So yes, so I want to thank John once again for getting me these things, bringing me these things over, because there's some of the things in there I will watch and I will upgrade a Blu-ray, but then again I might not like them enough to do that, and they will be watched, and can't wait to watch some of them, because this type of movie is stuff that me and Deborah watch all the time. So that's Challenge of the Masters. So after we went to the Opticians, I went across to HMV and CEX. So I got some footage from when I was in the shop, and I'm getting quite brave now. I'm actually picking things off the shelf and looking at them, so you can have a look at that. So the tune that's playing behind this video is a Mondo Chalovec song called In the Land of the Ultra Mundane. So first up we went to CEX, and Deborah actually picked something up. Speaking of the Debs, actually the other day I got something which I'm not going to show here because I got this box set and I want to actually watch the box set before I talk about it, because I don't really know anything about this box set, but I'm really interested to see what it's all about. But after I've watched it, I will sort of do a video on it, because then I'll be able to talk about it and not say this is a box set and I know nothing about it, because it's not really going to help you out if you want to maybe think about getting it yourself. So really enough, that on the video when you see it, there is an unboxing of this box set when it came the other night from Amazon, and it was unboxed actually by the Debs. So this is an I can't even say it. Unboxing. So this is an unboxing. This
really, come on.
So this is an unboxing with a difference. Yeah, so that's coming. So when I was looking through the shelves, Deborah came up and she says, "Look what I've got," and she said, "Guess what? It's got a slip as well." And I said, "Wow, you're so shallow." Anyway, so it was only $1.50, and she likes Marky Wahlberg. So do I, actually. I think it's great fun. Although I'm not too keen on probably watching this type of movie, but she's well into these type of. This is her sort of jam, if you like. And so she picked it up for $1.50. Like I say, it's got a nice slip, and actually, believe it or not, the sticker came straight off, which was more shocking than getting this for $1.50. So that's Patriots Day. That's from the Debs. So when I was looking in there, I found a few things, but I just sort of came away with one, and I came away with Swimming with Sharks. Now I know this has got Kevin Spacey in it. Wow, we all know about him. I'm not a big fan of what he's done at all. But the reason why I picked this up was it was for Frank Wally, who's in here, and I think he's a brilliant actor, especially in comedies. And I didn't know much about it apart from the fact there's a comedy with him in it. Now there's other movies that he's done, Career Opportunities being one of them, where he plays this bloke who goes to work in a sort of store, but he gets locked in with a girl on the night time, but he's someone who tells loads of stories. He said he's in the FBI and he's a hitman and all that. It's so good, but it's very unknown. But I urge anybody, I'm sure it's on Blu-ray actually, but I think it's in America, Career Opportunities, great film. So this one here, I don't really I have heard of this film before, but I don't know anything about the actual premise apart from he's a really horrendous boss and he's got to do everything that he tells, and I think he flips in the end and just sort of gets his own back or something like that. But yeah, so this was only £6, so I thought, well, why not? So that's Swimming with Sharks. So next I went across to HMV. Now I picked up two titles in HMV the other day, but I haven't shown them yet. So first up I picked up Mario Bava's Shock. This was a day one purchase for me. Lovely slipcover, also reversible art. Got a booklet in, it's got the lot. I've actually checked out all of these movies here, so I can tell you a little bit about them. Swimming with Sharks actually was it was a good picture quality. I thought it looked like a bit of an older Blu-ray, and I thought it wouldn't be sort of up to scratch, but actually looked really nice. So much better than I thought it was going to do. Although it's not one of the ones that looks sort of astounding. I think some Blu-rays these days look absolutely amazing. So it's nice to get something that's a little bit better than you expected. So this here, this Shock, looks absolutely brilliant actually, because it's a 2K remaster. I was talking to Keith from Euphoria Pictures. Big shout out to Keith, who came across to my live stream the other day. Had such fun with that. So obviously there was that many comments. I couldn't get through the comments. We're staying for four and a half hours, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. But next time we're going to get through the comments a bit quicker. Although I don't know if there's that many comments that we could have answered them even if we tried. But I want to thank everybody who left a comment to that. And also I've got a lot of moderators on for the next time, so we'll stop any tomfoolery on the stream. So yeah, so Shock looks really nice, and but actually we were talking about the fact that, do you think this will come out in a 4K? Well, it would have been a 4K, not a 4K restoration. I said to him I don't think it will. I don't think this will now actually see this on a 2K restoration. I do think that if I see one coming out on a 4K restoration, I might think twice about getting it, because maybe 2 or 3 months down the line it'll come out in a 4K box set. So that's Shock. Next up is a bit of a strange movie. Now the reason I picked this up, because this is a movie that's from 1975 and it's kind of its time. It's one of those movies that was a big hit back in the day, but these days I don't think this type of movie sort of plays well with the current climate of the world, and it is Eskimo Nell. Now I've watched this actually, and it's such a good movie. The sort of premise of it is the fact that this fella who's going to make this movie wants to get backing from 3 backers, and the 3 backers who put the money in a third of the money in. They want the film to be done their way. One of them wants to be done like a very straight-laced sort of drama. Another one wants a musical, and the other one wants a western. So the fella's got to do that, but in the meantime, another producer has said to him, we really want to make it a strong adult movie. So he's got to put that in the mix as well. Of course, the tins get put to the wrong people and all that. So it's it's like a farce basically. It's got a lot of quite well-known English actors, which feature in these type of movies anyway, which you wouldn't believe that this cast could be a cast that of these sort of A-listers at the time would be in a movie like this. But the movie itself is quite funny actually, but it's very much of its time. And a lot of the humour these days, you think, wow, the things they're talking about is just, it's like from a bygone age. I think that's why I like it. And plus I like to watch the scenes from London when you look at it. And I've been down to London about 2009, and it looks completely different. The cars as well, the cars are all like Tinker Toys. Anyway, so it's a bit of a laugh, and remember, it is what it is. That's Eskimo Nell. Okay, so today in HMV, I've got quite a lot of stuff actually. And first up I got, in the 2 for £15 sale, The Ape Woman. Now I had my eye on this a few times and I thought, wow, it's got a 4K restoration. The thing that pushed me into buying it was, it's made by the same bloke who made La Grande Bouffe, which is The Big Meal, which is a great Arrow release, and it's quite sickening actually, about these people trying to eat themselves to death. Wow. And this film is meant to be a little bit confrontational as well. It features somebody who, well, I would imagine somebody who's in a circus, but I flicked it on to see what the picture quality was like. Actually, the picture quality on Eskimo Nell is pretty decent actually. It's not brilliant, but it's better than I thought it would be. The print is quite clean. This one here would have been a 4K restored. It's pretty good actually, and it's black and white. So sometimes these 4K black and whites, 4K remastered black and whites, look really nice. This is from 1964, believe it or not. It's an Italian movie, and I'm interested to see how controversial it is, especially thinking it was in 1964, and apparently it raised a few eyebrows then. So that's The Ape Woman. So the other movie I got in the 2 for £15 sale is the El Duce tapes. Now, I know who El Duce is. He is a strange sort of punk, well, I wouldn't say icon at all. He's like a sort of bargain basement punk rocker from the 80s, I would say, maybe the late 70s and 80s. And he was big friends with a fella called G.G. Allen, or should I say Jesus Christ Allen, which is what his dad actually called him. Now, I would say that G.G. Allen is probably the most psychopathic rock star that's ever lived. I mean, he's long dead now, and so is El Duce as well. But I think that these two were pals, I think. And I remember seeing an interview on something to do with G.G. Allen about El Duce. He was actually on it. Now, he played in a group called the Mentors, and I don't really know anything about them, but I know that these biopics are they're really watchable. It's got a load of extras on here as well. It's got a reversible art, which is pretty similar to the art on the cover actually. But yeah, so I'm really interested in watching this because I do like this type of thing. I love things to do with like G.G. Allen and that, even though I think his music is pretty trashy. In one of my side project bands, the Bailiffs, we actually did cover a G.G. Allen song called Bite It You Scum. Yeah. So I had to change some of the words to that one when I was doing it. So that's the El Duce tapes. Now the picture quality in here is it is what it is, because most of the stuff is filmed in documentary style, probably off the, some old tapes and that. So it's never going to look good. Although I would imagine some of the making of them behind the scenes might look a bit better. It doesn't really matter actually, because to be honest, if you want to know anything about El Duce, you've got the whole thing on one disc. So if you, like me, are into your underground punk music, the El Duce tapes might be for you. Next up was the one that I had my eye on for quite a while. Now it's reduced to £10. I thought, yes, I've got to get that one. It is The Mask of the Red Death. Now this is released by Studio Canal, and it also stars Vincent Price, who's got one of the best voices in cinematic history, especially in horror movies. And it's an Edgar Allan Poe film, which is produced by Roger Corman, so it ticks all the boxes for me. I put this on, and the picture quality on here looks very nice. It's like rich in colour. It's got resembles like a Hammer movie for having that much colour in it, because Hammer horror is probably the most colourful of all horrors from the 50s and 60s and 70s. And this one here, I'm not too sure what year it's from. I would imagine it's from the 60s. And I do like anything that Vincent Price has got to do with horror movies, I'm in, and I think that he can elevate even the poorest horror movie into the next level. So this one should get watched very soon. That's The Mask of the Red Death. Next up is the one that you would have seen me picking up off the shelves. It is Effects. Now this cover got me. I didn't know anything about it. I just walked over and thought, I've got to check this out. So I just love this colour. This cover is so retro. It's also got reversible art. It's got a booklet in there as well. And it just got me straight away. Now, beware though. I didn't expect this movie to look too good, but it has got in the back. It's a new 4K scan of the only 35mm theatrical print in existence. Now, that made me think, that doesn't sound like it's going to be good. Now, when I put it on, the quality on here is borderline VHS. Now, am I bothered about that? Not particularly, actually. I don't mind films that look a bit grubby. If I'd been expecting it to look anything like Citizen Kane, I would have been a bit, sort of shocked about this. The movie is from 1980. I don't know anything about it. It does have in it Tom Savini, Joe Plateau from Day of the Dead, and also John Harrison from Tales of the Dark Side, the movie. So it's got a lot of pedigree. I did flick it on, and I thought the quality was very low. A lot of scratches on the print, but the fact it's a bit grindhousey kind of just go into the look of this movie. I don't know if the film's going to be any good or anything, but as a one that just looks nice, this really looks spot on. I'm so glad that huge 18 sticker came off as well. So I'm interested to see this movie. I don't expect too much out of it, and I don't know if the storyline's anything, because the bits that I clicked onto it didn't look too gripping. But I am interested in how this is going to play out, and I think that 101 seem to be releasing a few of these ones now. And I don't think I'll be starting, there's no numbers on it, so I'll not be starting like a new line or anything like that. But if these movies are good, I'll be keeping them. So that's Effects. So me and Deborah have been watching a TV series on Disney Plus, and it's called Only Murderers in the Building. And it stars Martin Short and Steve Martin. And I've got to say that it was absolutely brilliant. We had such fun with it. And the last episode has this scene in it, which I've never seen something as funny as this last scene. I can't talk about it. But if you ever seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And when I was watching it, I thought, there's a lot of films that have come out in the past that I haven't really got anymore. Or I had it on DVD, but I still haven't got this anymore, because I went looking for it and I didn't have it. So I don't know what's happened to the DVD of this. But so anyway, I looked for it in HMV, and I had the last copy in there, and it is Innerspace. Now, I think this DVD's been out for a long time. Now, this movie was a Steven Spielberg produced sort of movie. And it's a Joe Dante film who did Gremlins, so it's got everything going from it. Now, I've seen this film a few times, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. I think it's one of my favourite films from about 1987. So, like I say, this has been out for quite a while, so I put it on, and to be honest, the picture quality on some of the scenes looks astounding. Other times it doesn't look that good. It's got that bit of sort of darkness about it, as if it needs a good remaster, actually. And this film is that good that I think someone like 88 or Arrow could do this movie, because I think it needs to be brought up a bit. But I really wanted to see it, actually, because it's one of those movies that was big back in the day, but it never seems to get talked about, especially with the fact of the pedigree it's got. And if you haven't seen it, I do urge you to get across and try and find out a place to watch this movie, because you'll have such a good time with it. So it stars Martin Short as this person who's made, like, miniaturized and put into this fella's body, and he sort of travels around in this ship trying to put this body right. It's really funny, mind, I've got to say. I mean, it's been done before in The Fantastic Voyage, but the whole movie itself just has this great thing where these people get made miniature as well, but they get made miniature enough and they fit into like a suitcase, and it looks so funny, these two grown adults in a suitcase. But I just think this movie's great, and I'm really excited to watch it. It's one of the movies when you think, oh, I'll just go upstairs and get it on DVD. It's not there. So very happy to get this. It was only $7.99. Very highly recommended. That's Innerspace. So the last item in here is something I've been wanting to pick up for a long time. Now, I was watching Playtendoguy's link down below. I was watching one of his pickups recently, and he mentioned that he got this for this price, and I thought, right, the price is right. I'm going to get myself over there and I'm going to find one. But there was quite a few there, actually. And it's not something I really need to have, but I've always been interested in getting this because I'm a massive fan of this movie. As anybody who knows this channel will know that how much of a fan I'm of this amazing movie. So what I picked up for $14.99 is A Star Is Born the VIP Pass edition. Now, when I saw this one, I mean, it said it was £30 when it came out. Now, I had got the 4K. I've got the 4K, so I didn't need to really get this movie because this movie's just got a Blu-ray, but it's also got the Encore edition, which is like the slightly longer one. So this is a bit of a luxury item to me. I don't really need it, but I thought, you know, it is. I just think it looks so good. Also, you're getting here, you get the CD soundtrack, a 32-page production notes booklet, 6 exclusive art cards, and 3 limited edition pictures. So it's, I mean, I will open it, I will have a look at it and all that, but it's one of the ones where I kind of didn't need to get it, but I just wanted it because I'm not into double dipping as much, and it's a pretty of a necessary double dip. But for the CD soundtrack and the actual Blu-ray in here with 2 cuts of the movie on, and you get all them art cards. I know the box is a bit big, but for 14 quid, 15 quid, I mean, you cannot go wrong. So that's the last thing I picked up. That's A Star Is Born. So when I showed it to Deborah, she says, "You haven't got that monstrosity, have you?" And I says, "Well, have you seen it?" She says, "No." And I says, "Well, there you go." She says, "I know, but I know what it's going to be like." And I says, "Well, how would you know what it's going to be like? Because you haven't seen it." But anyway, we have this argument a lot considering this movie, A Star Is Born. Now, funny enough, I've got a video coming up which I haven't shot yet, where I'm going to take out some movies that Deborah doesn't know about, and I'm going to say to her, "What do you think of this one?" And I want to see what her reactions are. And this is the type movie that I'm going to pull out and say, "What do you think of this?" And she's going to go, I just want to see what a honest reaction is to the movies that I'm going to, I mean, I won't go down the Cannibal Holocaust route. I'll do ones that she probably hasn't seen, but she would say, "Well, I'm not watching that because it's rubbish." Although, how would she know? So coming out tomorrow night is the second part of When John Ho Came Over, and we're going to sort of go through what we thought of the actual movies, because we sat while I looked through them, we sort of played some key scenes, and we're going to give us our honest opinion of what we thought of the sets that he brought over. And another big shout out to John Ho for doing that for me, for bringing that stuff over, and we're talking about him coming back to the channel very soon. So also my next live stream will be in early February. I've got my guests lined up. I'm excited to do it. Had a great time with the last one with me and Keith, and I'll leave a link to that one down below actually if you want to go and check it out. It was very nerve-wracking. I've got to say, I've never been so nervous about doing anything on YouTube as I was to do that one. But we're having Keith there. It kind of calmed us down, and also I think my next one I will not have them nerves because I kind of know what it is now. I know what I'm getting myself into, even though it was a bit unknown at the time. So anyway, so thanks for watching. You take care, and I'll see you on the next video. Cheers.